Yeah, Baruch Hashem, and greetings and welcome, guests, friends, visitors. We have safety first, and a good presentation for you on the subject matter of navigating safely and prosperously, and also systematically attaining and managing and maintaining a miraculous, healthy and wealthy state of existence overall by accessing an automatically permanently available universal cosmic resource of the providence, even the divine providence itself. Now, one of the most simple ways to express this is something that I heard said once, apparently a quote from a rabbi that said, "Make something out of nothing," so-called saying, possibly or perhaps from a Rabbi Akiva. Now, that saying there, it could be expanded, and I refer to this saying because it's what comes to mind when I seek to be able to communicate and actually explain to preferably all humans so that they may benefit from this, what I'm actually talking about right now. I'm talking about being able to basically sort of systematically and miraculously manage and then sort of miraculously produce certain things using and stemming from what is always universally and freely available in terms of the life force that is then organized through the cycles of life, and the ability to actually basically create certain things at certain times that lead to an overall positive prosperity and a benefit in your life and in all of life. So what this is also known as is basically self-mastery and living prudently, because as we speak right now, at all times in life, and more particularly and precisely within the different cycles of life that, for example, we are in right now, right? There are different things that are sort of being divinely, automatically provided, or the providence is being given for. There's a time for meditation and reflection, and then the realization of super important and powerful truths that if you then realize them and you retain and wisely analyze and evaluate the quality of these thoughts, realizations, and so on, then you scientifically experiment with this knowledge, you actually are very, very highly prosperous. Okay? So there's a time for that, and that's actually the time that it is right now. So we've got to talk about a miraculous, divinely inspired point of order and guidance that gives us the ability to actually prosper massively. And it has something to do with the subject matter of the lunar cycles and how, like, generally speaking, from the time and the point of a new moon, for about 14 days, you're seeing a steady, automatically, universally and cosmically supported increase in creative activity, volume, mass, amplitude, and even overall activity in creation in the universe happen. And this is an important thing because one should harness the cycles of life and utilize them for the things that they are good for, to accomplish and to have good things in life and to maintain those good things. So, as for any particular important thing that is something that we would like to have manifest in our life, generally it has to be, and it should be, and it automatically will be something wherefore it is a time in your life right now, in the life cycles that you're in. And this is explained by the very simple saying of how there's basically a time and a season for everything, right? So any of the objectives that we have that are legitimate in life, they can be accomplished systematically, and this includes health and wealth maintenance and increase, the attainment of whatever important amenities, wealth, riches, things material and things metaphysical, right? Because from the divine providential source, and then ordered systematically, meted out through the cosmos, or the orderly system of the universe, there is always providence available. And this is the thing. Now, what often happens is, if there is a perception of anything sort of missing, it's actually because you're sort of occupied with the wrong things at a time when it is the time to be occupied with other things. So it's as if, universally speaking, there's good fruits that are always automatically being given the potential to be produced in your life. This could be your health, your wealth, the accomplishment of life's goals, etc. And there's a certain time for everything where it's propitious for this thing. And the key is to be occupied with, or actively, creatively working and resting and benefiting from and with the divine providence that is cyclical, that is ordered into the system of the cycles of life, even the daily periods of the cycles of life, such as we are right now, where we're actually basically into some sort of scientific research, reflection, evaluation, seeking wisdom, guidance, and then also putting this into a tutorial format. And at the same time actually realizing certain important universal and divine truths and higher levels of wisdom, okay? And the main key point in this presentation is that, look, recently we had a new moon. Okay, it's been something like has it been 6 days since a new moon now? So what happened is, there was just a clean slate in creation that was automatically, divinely programmed, provided, right? There was a clean slate, okay? And this clean slate is like, the fact that the moon is emptied out and it's new and now it's increasing. It's like we started with so the heavens and the earth plane and life and what goes on in life and how things come from nothing into something good and so on. It all just happened to start again with a clean slate on the, I think it was the 17th of April, 2026. And so we just had a clean slate. The clean slate is identifiable by the meter, or the instruments on the dashboard of the heavens in the form of the new moon. There was just a clean slate. Now we've just started in 6 days now, we're into a new moon, right? And we've just started to basically build and grow and begin to have certain things put into this like manufacturing mechanism whereby, and I will explain this, what happens is that around the new moon, new ideas, new goals, objectives come to mind, right? And you gradually work on these systematically while harnessing the divine providence that's available systematically in the different life cycles, even the daily periods of the cycles of life, right? For about 12 and then 13 and ultimately about 14 days. And what happens is basically very close to the time of the next full moon, the things that you've been working on, the things that you've been seeking to accomplish or have made manifest in your life, right? They basically have, like, they've started to manifest. And now we can see this in retrospect a lot of times. So now, why is this important to understand? Well, because if you're looking at having to have certain things in the future to live a good life, like a house, money, employment, all this stuff, or even whatever good ideas you have that are legit, right, that would be preferable, that are good. Well, what actually happens is that near the point of the next full moon, these things are basically starting to manifest. And like I said, we can see this in retrospect. A lot of times this has happened. Now, it's important and it's beneficial to understand this, because what if right now, like right after a new moon, you're thinking, man, in 7 days, I have to have a new house or a new home. Right now, I need, $5,000 or so to pay bills. Well, you got to understand that the things that you seek to have made manifest, they manifest systematically according to the universal and automatically timed providential system. So now it's also a matter of having a realistic and a right and a clear, true, and wise perspective and an insight and an overview into and of and above all of, as much as possible, seeing completely clearly of what is going on in your life right now and what is actually everything that is right now, why it is like it is right now. And in addition to that, the ability then becomes clearly comprehensible to you on how to accomplish the objectives for the future that are important. So this is like being able to see clearly in the current situation and understand why everything is how it is in the first place. And that gives you a very good and a very strong and a beneficial ability to then go further and to really see through and comprehend how life and the cycles of life work right now and what they're good for right now. And so then what happens is you start to adjust your objectives, and then the so-called problems or the existing problems that, they're possible. There can be problems. It's possible. The solutions become visible because you start to really see the order that there actually is right now and how you could be more in order right now, and that then gradually improves everything. So, like, think for a second here. Imagine, and as I speak right now, I'm thinking about the fact that, and I think that a lot of human beings perhaps could benefit from this, is like, imagine there's bills, there's expenses, there's literally thousands, right, that are due. And so what do you do, right? Well, before you do anything, take a deep breath, stop, relax, neutralize, empty out, right? And then be intelligently, wisely receptive to the divine genius, inspiration, and guidance. Because there are key moments, it's another one of those moments in a C period of the daily periods of the cycles of life, my friends. At 6:21 and a half approximately p.m., when it's the time for the realization of great ieretical truths. So what will happen is, in the midst of everything that's going on, it all becomes clear again and again, and you gain clear oversight, insight, and comprehension of everything in your life situation right now. And it becomes clear how to correct things and to improve things massively. Because in the basic premise and the basic logic and the fact and the truth is this, is that actually all of life has been made perfectly from the beginning and all the way, including every human life. There is a potential. There's a providence-based and a divinely provided potential that's been given from the beginning of creation. In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. The Creator geometrized, and that even is so massive that every human life can actually be perfect. If you're a little bit prudent and you live a little bit prudently. Now, the reason I say this is because I know, and I do this most of the time, to the best of my ability, and so should you. So what I'm saying is that everything in your life right now, no matter what, it can actually be adjusted rather easily so that it will result in a very, very good improvement and a maintained very good state of existence that goes on. This is always possible. It's systematically possible. The key is one has to actually stop at certain times and sort of stop and then neutralize and reflect, and then be in sort of have like a blank moment, and then be able to be intelligently receptive to the real-time guidance and divine and cosmic guidance and instruction and genius cosmic impulses or thoughts that arise from the mind of God within, that give massively positive change to whatever your thinking is, situation, your planning, your navigation, and your forward movement. I've done this before and it works. It enables miracles to occur regularly. It's like being able to listen to the Creator himself and have him show you the way. And that's the best way there is. So what I had realized was, I've got goals right now that I'm actually working on. And I realized, hey, you have to be a little more patient because you're moving faster than the universe is programmed to move right now. In other words, you have to work on your goals systematically for the next 10 days or, well, wait a minute. 17, 18, 5, 6, 7. So for the next 8 days, wisely work on your goals, and they will be prosperous and manifested around the time of the full moon. Because if you rush things too much, it's you can't rush the system whereby the Creator programmed the universe. You can't rush that. You have to go slowly, steadily, and safely and wisely and permanently benefit. And that works. I'm doing it right now. It's a very, very powerful fact. The main thing is that from time to time, regularly actually, at minimum during the C periods, perhaps during the 6 days of creation from time to time, we really should be intelligently receptive to divine real-time guidance, inspiration, and instructions. Because if we are, then as we go through life and we work on our goals as we go, right, during the 6 days of creation, right, we're automatically guided on the perfect path that leads to the most magnificent and positive, miraculous results and state of existence on an ongoing basis. So it is important. Now, what happens so often is I make a tutorial video about self-mastery, like right now, where I'm actually seeking to figure out something and to find a way to make something work that has to work. Whether it's $3,000 in bills that have to be paid now, or how to actually, change things. There's always a divine guidance and an instruction and a genius thought that is God's guiding providence and protecting perfect counsel and wisdom. Listen to it, wisely evaluate it, put it into action,